I'm deleting all the classes available here. Let's delete. So as we can see, now the array list is clearly empty. So first look, this is Java collection framework. We are in the main directory Java collection framework. So now we will be changing our directory. Command array list. Now we are inside the directory. Now we will make let's make just a file. So code, to make any file from the terminal of VS Code, we can use the code ArrayList 1.java. So this is ArrayList 1.java. So now here we will be observing the adding of elements. So let's make the start by writing the class public class ArrayList1, public static void main string halves. So this is, so first we will be initializing the array list. Let's understand this. Look that first, this is public. When you declare anything in the public, the file name must be same as this. As this is public, the file name, this is the class name. So the class name must be equal to the file name. This is array list. And now you can see public static. The word static means our main class. This word static means our main class. The main class can be accessed without declaring any object. That means if we don't have object also, it can be accessed. So this is the entry point of our any program, any code to this class. So this is public static void, that means the return is null, and main, this is the main function. Strings, that is that args, that is arguments will be passed as array of strings. So you understood it. Now let's deep dive into it. Now we'll be implementing the array list of type string list1 equals to new array list, like this. Now look, first we have to write the entire string, this portion into this portion also, but as it updated on Java, we don't need to write anymore. We just can give this notation and it's done. So this is array list string list1. Now we will be adding elements to the list1 dot WikiGalaxy list1 dot add wiki code list1 dot add wiki how list1 dot add wiki housing, etc. So we added 4 elements here. So as we added, we'll be interested to see or check the elements. So first, check the elements. There are lots of methods how we can check the elements. First, we can either using for each method. We can use the for each method to check the elements. Second, we can use the for loop that we all know to check the elements. Third, we can use iterator classes, iterator object to iterate loop. This is the third method. Fourth, we can use the for each lambda expression, for each lambda. We can use lambda expression. 5, you can for each remaining. We can observe through this also, for each remaining. So I'm moving to it later. We'll just check right now just using the for each. So this is for each, for string item in list1 system.out.println list1. Actually, I just forgot. This is how we are iterating the elements. That means here the elements will be printed one by one, but without this we can also check the element just by printing the entire list. So printing the entire list system.out.println, printing the entire list plus list1. So this is how we can check the print of entire list. So first, now we need to compile the class, and before we need to compile, we need to import the required elements. Import java.util.start. We can do it. Here our all libraries are implemented, but the best practice is not to import all the libraries, only to import the required libraries. So why to import all the libraries? Let's remove it. Import java.util.ArrayList. So this is a good practice. Now let's compile it. Java compile -d dot. Previously I mentioned that Java C compiles the file this array.java. -d, this is we are providing the directory. Dot, that means we are in the current directory. This is our array list directory and the file directory is same. -java compile -d dot. Simply we will write the file name ArrayList1.java. So now you can see the class file is compiled. Now we have to run this class file, and while running this file we will just write file name Java ArrayList1. So look, we got all the elements one by one: WikiGalaxy, WikiCodes, WikiHow, WikiHasing, printing the entire list. This is WikiGalaxy, WikiCodes, WikiHow. So entire list is printed like this. So this is how we can add elements. Now what suppose you want to remove an element. Suppose you want to remove one element, so you will just write list1.remove. Now removing a element, removing a element. So to remove any of the element, you just have to use the remove function. So list1, from where you want to remove, remove. Once you use the remove function, that will be removed. So let's remove WikiHow. Now look, list1.remove, that means our WikiHow will get removed. Now let's run this program again. But if we just run this program, you see we got the same output and nothing is removed from here. Look, nothing is removed from here. So what's the mistake? Actually, the first class file we made, that was made based on the first file. Now again, if we want to make, we have to again compile the file, and the new compilation class will be based on the new code. So now again let's compile the file, java compile -d dot. So now again the file is generated. Now run the file, and now look, WikiGalaxy, WikiCode, WikiHow is removed. There is no WikiHow, only 3 elements. So this is how you can add or remove the elements. So that's done. Suppose you want to add some list, entirely you want to add a list inside this. So how we can add entire list? So this is list1. Now let's make a list2. Array ArrayList string, ArrayList string list2 equals to new array list2 dot add, let's say wiki engineering list2 dot add cst list2 dot add medical. So here we created another list, and our list2 is having all those elements. We can check the elements like this: system.out.println entire list name of list2. So we will be able to see the elements of list2. Okay, done. So we can check. Now look, the matter is we don't want to work hard. We just don't want to work hard and waste our time. We directly want to add this entire list, all the items in the list into list1. So how we can add that? To add all the items of list2 into list1, we have to use the method addAll. So now let's look it. System.out.println adding all elements of list2 with list1. So list 1 with whom we want to add list 1 dot add all. We are adding whom we want to add the entire list 2. So the entire list 2 will be added system dot out dot println after adding. So after adding we print the list 1 and we will see the entire list will be concatenated. So let's again, we just don't need to delete it. If we just compile it, this class will get replaced. So just again compile java compile -3 dot. Now running the file. Now look, our printing the entire list. We are printing here list 1 and we can check the console. This is element of list 2. These are the elements of list 2. As we have, this is elements of list 2. First we are printing the elements of list 2. So wiki, these what are the elements, all those elements are printed. Now look, printing all elements with list 1. So this is printed after adding. Once we added the elements and now we are printing. After adding WikiGalaxy, WikiCourse, WikiHousing, WikiEnglish, CST Medical, the entire items got added. Entire items got added except WikiHow. Why WikiHow is not? Because we have used a dot remove function and we have removed that one using dot remove line. So printing the entire list here, the entire list is printed at the list 1. What we want, if you just want to remove the whole list, now you added and you got printed, but now you want to delete the entire list of list 2, you just don't want. So you have to use the removal function. So for removing you just can use list 1 dot remove. As there is function addAll, there is function remove all list 2. Now the entire list will get removed. System dot out dot println printing list 1 after removing all the elements of list 2. Okay, so list 1. So now we will again compile the file to check if they are removed or not. So java compile java. Now look, printing the list after removing all elements. Only there is WikiGalaxy, WikiCourse, WikiHousing. The entire list of list 2 is removed. So now we just observe the adding method, how we can add one by one elements, we can remove one elements, etc. And this is for string. So you want me to tell that is if we can declare or we can use only strings or we can add also some others. Exactly, we can add integer, not only strings here, we can provide any type of data types, that is integer, string, long, character, float, etc. So to check all those, let's move to another file. So now we'll be creating another file. Let's create another file, code ArrayList2.java. Let's again declare a file. Again let's import java.util.arraylist public class array list 2 string args. So this is, as you can see, public static void main. Now we will be checking another primitive type. So let's make ArrayList. Now not string, we will write integer list 1. Tell it list 1, no problem. New ArrayList, and now we are adding list 1 dot add 1, list 1 dot add 2, list 1 dot add 3, list 1 dot add 4. So now you will be printing the entire list. System dot out dot println list 1. So we'll be printing the entire list. Let's clear the entire console so that we can observe what's happening. Now look, we'll be printing the entire list. So to print the entire list, again we have to make a compiled class file. What we need to make? We need to make a compiled class file. So let's make a compiled class file. Java compile minus directory dot, in the current directory, ArrayList2.java. What happened? Integer, we just got an error. Observe it, we just got an error. While using integer, we just got an error. So what do you think? Can we use only strings? Just comment below. Can we use only strings? We just got an error using integer. Let's check the data type. Maybe float might get supported. Might be problem in integer, but float might get supported. Let's check it. Again, let's compiling. Float is also not supported. Now let's check it long. Cause integer may be considered as long also, we can check it. And now again let's try compiling it. So sorry, error unexpected type ArrayList long required reference found long. So this is again getting problem that long is not supported. Let's try using double. And again let's try checking it. Let's again try compiling it. So look, we are getting the same error that we cannot run double, we cannot run integer, we cannot run long, we cannot run anything. So what is the problem here? Look, we cannot run anything integer, double, long. So you will be thinking, can we use one strings in ArrayList? No, the answer is not ArrayList. We have to always pass here the main class name. What we have to do? We have to pass the main class name, because everything what is passed inside this ArrayList, that is passed as object, so we just, if you write in this way, it will not work. If you would write like this way, string, it would also not work. Look, it will also not work. We have to pass the main wrapper class name. And the main wrapper class name is the string, like this. This is the main wrapper class. So if you use the integer, so this will work. Now let's compile it. And it got compiled. And now let's run the compiled file, Java ArrayList 2. So we always have to remember that only we can pass here the main things. So let's check out the primitive data types. Primitive data types. This is primitive data types. So as you know, the primitive data types are string, integer, character. Let's not write this primitive data types, and wrapper classes that we can use here. Wrapper classes. So the primitive data type integer, that have the wrapper classes integer here. Primitive class character, that have the wrapper classes character. Integer character, the primitive type we use long, that have the wrapper classes capital long. We use string, the wrapper classes is string. After integer, character, long, string, we use float. Float is also primitive data type, and its wrapper classes is just float. And now why it became small? Float. Double, the wrapper classes is capital D, double. So there are lot of wrapper classes, I can't recognize that right now. There are actually 8: integer, character, long, string, float, double, and this is boolean. Boolean is another primitive data types, and the wrapper classes is boolean. So if Control Z, boolean. If we want to make ArrayList, then we have to use the wrapper classes. We have to use integer, we have to use character, we have to use capital L long, we have to use the string, float, double, this is. And that's how we can use all the data. We just observe printing those data as list. These are the objects of integer type. We can change the data from integer to long also. Long. And now we can again compile the file. Integer cannot be converted to long. I think we have to provide L here. Long. Java compile. Okay, it worked. I mean, whenever we write long, we have to provide a L here. Additionally, with integer, we have to provide L so that compiler can understand that that is a long type of variable. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. They are printed. We can pass here float, double, whatever we want. We can pass float, float. And you know that what is float. Float is basically which are a point type, that is 1.5. this is a float. 2.5, I just use alt here. 3.5. so these are actually floats. And now if we compile, Java compile ArrayList, oh sorry, if we again use the primitive type here, and that's we got the error that primitive type is not allowed. So let's make it a wrapper class type float. And this is Java compile minus t dot. Incompatible, double cannot be converted to float. So do I have to provide AF here? I just don't know about it. That's why again they're giving. I haven't worked with till now with float value, that's why. Java compile minus t. So as I provided a small f, it worked, and now we can see 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. Suppose if we just don't want to provide this small f beside them, then we have to use a double. We have to use a double, and now if you compile, it will work. Java compile Java, and it works. So while using long, we have to use small l. While using float, we have to use small f, and that's how we can use. So till now, we have observed a lots of method primitive type, and now we'll be deep diver into another methods. So this is boolean add, boolean addAll, boolean void clear. We actually saw a lots of method. Now we'll be observing the other methods. Like we'll be observing the clear methods, get methods, empty methods, the least iterator, the last index, indexOf. We observed already remove all methods. Now we'll be checking the remove if. We actually didn't check the remove if method. We'll be checking the remove if. And these are the methods, and it will work for us if you solve any DSA question, any lead code question. It's enough for us. And actually we want to use either want to use all the list classes in production while developing website, while developing softwares. We want to bring and fetch all the elements of products using ArrayList, or ArrayList is used while solving the lead code questions. So all those important methods I have discussed. Now let's discuss other methods. Welcome to VS Code. So again, let's code ArrayList3.java, import ArrayList, import java.util.arraylist, java.util.arraylist. Now let's public class ArrayList3, public static void main string args. This is a string args. Now we'll be checking the clear methods. Let's make a file. Array list integer list new array list, and now we will be adding numbers. 1 list dot add, 2 list dot add, 3 list dot add, 4 list dot add, 5. So let's print the elements. System dot out dot println list, and now let's check it. We're compiling Java compile minus d dot ArrayList3.java integer. Sorry guys, I just wrote here integer. We have to write integer, the correct one. Java compile Java ArrayList 3, and we can see 1 2 3 4 5 is removed. What suppose you want to clear all the elements, you just don't want, and you want to clear all the elements. So if you just call the list.clear function, all elements will get cleared. Now let's again compile to check how clear function works. Java compile Java, and now look, the entire list is empty. There is no list element. Suppose you want to use the iterator function. Actually this ArrayList is coming from the interface class of iterator. Everything is coming from the interface class iterator, so we can use their iterator. So let's check the iterator. ITR, let's say it ITR, that is list. We have to use for we have to use that list name for whom we want to make the iterator. So this is list.iterator. Iterator. This is the function and that is the class name list.iterator. While list dot has next while list dot has next system dot out dot println list dot next. Now look, list dot has next. This has next returns a boolean value. That means this has next will return true. This has next will return true or it will return false. It will return false. If it returns true, then it will move to the elements and it will come here list.next, and list.next will return the current element and then it will move to the next element. Got it? Then its cursor will move to the next element, and this is how it will work. And once it comes false, there is no next element, it will terminate from the loop. Why commenting it? Keep it work, but after it. So this is list.iterator and our code should work perfectly fine. And if we get error, so you'll comment why we got the error. So let's again compile the file. Java compile. Oh sorry, just look, we again got error. Iterator cannot find symbol. We got error list.next. So you might be thinking there is one error we got in next. Has next we got error. Iterator we got error. So we got error. So try to guess why you actually get the iterator error. So the reason we got the error that we haven't called the iterator class. Everything comes from a particular class. This iterator of Java also comes from the util.iterator class. So we have to import that class. So let's import first. Import java.util.iterator. So this is we imported. Now let's compile the file. So all those errors that we are getting, these are compile time error. That's why we are getting while compiling. Sometimes we might also face runtime errors that we will not facing in the compile, but while our code runs in browser or in app, we might face error. These are runtime errors. So compilation. List.next, I again got error. Iterator, itl list.iterator. Java compile. List.has next. Sorry, the reason why we are getting error that once we have made the object iterator, now all the elements of list comes and gets assigned to this iterator. So we don't have to use list, we have to use iterator. That is my typing mistake. Iterator, iterator, iterator. So let's done, and now we'll not get any error. Java compile -d dot Java ArrayList. So all the elements are iterated one by one and it's printed, and at the end the clear function is called and the entire list is printed out. So this is the iterator function. There is one more iterator, that is the list iterator function. List iterator function, iterator. We can make object with respect to that also, and this has method hatch previous. From here, if you want to suppose iterate the elements reversely, iterating the elements reversely, iterating reversely, so we can call the list iterator. So let's use import java.util.list iterator. List iterator2 equals to list dot list iterator. So everything is copied to iterator2, while iterator2 dot has previous will be checking, then will be printing system dot out dot println iterator2 dot previous previous, and let's check if it works or not. This is system dot out printing reversely. System dot out dot println printing reversely. Don't go over my spelling mistake, please. Java compile and Java ArrayList, but we got here nothing The reason is why printing iterator list.list iterator. So we are actually here, and the problem actually I figured out. Here actually I have missed the list.size attribute. In list iterator we have to actually pass the entire length list.size attribute, and then we can print reversely. So now we have assigned the entire memory size list.size of this list. Now if we just apply iterator 2.previous, and it will print reversely. So we can check it. Java compile and Java ArrayList 3, and we can see it's being printed reversely 5 4 3 2 1. There is even another way how you can print using lambda function. Using lambda function we can print functions. So that for we have to use the list.forEach. We have to use the list.forEach. So we will be printing now for list. Then we can use list.forEach for each, and then we have to use for each a and system.out.println a. And now for each value of a, that is a is just a variable here in list, it will print all the elements. So let's check it if it works or not using lambda function. System.out.println using lambda function. Printing using lambda functions. Java compile Java, and you can see using lambda function we just printed all the elements one by one, 1 2 3 4 5. So that is we see printing using lambda function. Suppose you want to update a particular element, you just want to update this particular element. So for that we can use this set method, list.set. If you use just set method, it will update that particular element. So for that you have to pass the index. So to update this element, the index will be 0 1 2. So let's pass the index 2 and the element by 300, and let's check if it works or not. Let's again recompile, run it, and we can see printing using lambda that got updated by 300. So this is how you can set the function. But if you want to get the elements without those iterator or just any element, just any specific element, suppose you want to get at the end, you just don't know, let's remove this clear function, otherwise it will clear everything. You just want to get the 0th index. To get the 0th index of any specific, you can use the get function, and this get function will help you to get all the elements randomly. So for that you can write system.out.println list.get of 0, and it will get you the 0th index. Printing using get, printing using get plus. In Java we always have to use the plus for concatenator, unless like Python where we can use just comma, we have to use plus here. Again recompile and run, and now you can see printing using get. At the 0th index we got the value 1. If you want to print all the values, so we can use a for loop like this. For integer I equals to 0, for integer I equals to 0, I less than list dot size, I less than list dot size I plus plus. So this is I plus plus, and now we'll be printing system.out.println I, and now all the elements of the list will get printed. And now we'll see printing 0 1 2 3 4 4, 0 1 2 3 4, printing using get. So we got all the elements, but one thing to notice that printing using get, somehow we updated the value, this value didn't get updated, I don't know why, but using the list.size we got all the elements to be printed one by one, 0 1 2 3 4 etc. Maybe somehow here the shallow copy was made. Okay, we'll look after that. But this is now how we can set, we can get Suppose you want to insert any list or any element at particular index. Suppose there is 300. There is 300 and you want to insert element after just after the 3 you want to insert at the index 4 at index 0 1 2. So the index will be 0 1 2 3. You want to index any element at third index. You want to add any element at third index. So for that you can use just like this, list.add, index name is third and you want to add the 1000. And now look, and if we just print using getter function system.out.println, printing third index, then list.get of 3. So we'll be getting the third index here. Java compile, print stream.println is not applicable, one error. String comma integer, oh sorry, we just used their comma and that's why we got the error. We cannot use comma like this in Java. We have to use, and this is Java ArrayList 3. So as you can see, printing third index, we updated the third index by 1000 and here look at the third place we updated 1000 and this is 0 0 1 2 0 1 2. You might be thinking why there here is 3, because we have updated this by 300, that's why there is 3. And in the third position, that is third index position, there is 10,000 and all the elements those got shifted, they didn't got deleted, they got shifted by 1 bit. So this is how you can add entire element at any index. You can even add entire collection at any position. If you want to add entire collection, that is entire list, so for that you just have to pass the list and the index. Let's make another list, array list integer list 1 new array list dot add. You want to add the list 1. Suppose you want to add after just one position the list 1, and for that we have to add elements, list 1 dot add 3, list 1 list dot add 1 2 3, list dot add 1 2 3. Let's do it 1 2 3. List 1. And now let's compile and use the addAll function. And first we have to mention the index. Suppose after the first index we want to add the entire list 1. So for that we have to use the addAll function. So now let's compile and check if we can get error or not. So this is Java ArrayList 3 and now you can see the entire things 1 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 up from the first position the entire list got added. This is addAll. You want to remove all the elements, you have to use the removal functions. And suppose we want to use customized data types. This is ArrayList. These are all the primitive data types. We want to make our own data type, and to make our own data type we have to make a create class. So let's make another file, code ArrayList 4.java import java.util.star. Now we will be making our own data type, class student, and first we will be writing the data type's name, that is integer roll number, string name, and we have to make a constructor for all of these. We can pass integer roll number, string name, and suppose what we can pass more name. Okay, I'm just making with those two, student. And now we are making a constructor to initialize the entire object. So student integer roll number string name. Now we will be initializing this dot roll number equals to roll number, this dot name equals to name. So we make a data type of type student. This is our customized data type and this is of type student. Got it? This is of type student. Here the first roll number is of type integer, the name is of type string. We can here use small string also, no problem, will be there. This is integer roll number, entering this is this dot roll number. Okay, now let's make the main file. Public class ArrayList 4 ArrayList 4 public static void main string args string args. And now we will be adding our customized data. So first let's make object ArrayList of type student. Now look, we are passing the class that we make, student stu list equals to new ArrayList. Okay, done. Here now why will add stu list dot add. We just cannot write here ram sum, yeah, we just cannot add like this stu list dot 1 comma Farhad. We cannot add like this. We have to add objects here. Always whatever we add by default that used to become object, but here we cannot make it. We have to make a object. That is to a, we can add like this also, but we have to use straight function, but we will go through easier process. We will be making first object of class student stu1 equals to new student. First Farhad Dubai, I use just my name. Student stu2 new student. Second WikiGalaxy, the free education platform. Student stu3 equals to new student 3. Let's say WikiCodes, the free coding platform also. And now we'll be adding those 3 students. So stu list, now we are adding to array stu list dot add stu1 stu list dot add, we are adding the student 2 stu list dot add, we are adding the stu list 3. Now we added the students. Now we can print the students using for each function or anything. So to print we will be using for each. For student st in stu list system.out.println. Now the first thing is here we have added the roll number and we have added the strings also. So we just cannot access like using roll number and student. We have to use this iterator. All the data of both the datas are coming inside it, inside this st. So we have to access like this. The roll number is st.roll number plus name is st.name, and I wish it works without any type of error. Java compile -t dot array list 4 dot Java array list 4, and you can see the role is 1 and the name is Farhad is printed, the role is 2 and the name is WikiGalaxy, WikiCodes, etc. are printed. Now look, we had commented here. You can see we had commented like this is to list dot add. We can add like this also, but we have to first initialize the object. What? We have to initialize the object. So let's wrap it. This is we wrapped it and let's make it an object. So stu list add new student, and now it becomes an object. It became a Java object, and we are directly adding this object using the add function. Now Farhad Dubey as the teacher, as a teacher. Okay, Farhad Dubey as a teacher. And now let's check if it works or not. Or we got a error, and the error is that we must have to always add semicolon in Java. In Java script, this is not so much requirement, but in Java it's important. And now Farhad as a teacher. So we have seen all types of data. We see adding functions like this ArrayList.add. We have added function, addAll function. How we can add all the elements. We can remove the elements by using list.remove. We can make another object and another list, and we can directly use the entire list using the list1.addAll of list2. It is adding the entire list2. So using the item iterator function of for each string item list1, we are printing one by one all the items. To remove all the item, we can use just remove all dot remove all function with respect to that loop. Now coming to ArrayList2, what we learned here, we learned that inside the ArrayList function we can only use the wrapper classes, that is integer, character, long, string, float, double, boolean. We can only use those functions, we can not use the primitive data types, otherwise we'll get a compile time error. And now we are adding this list1.add. Suppose we want to add the float, then we have to use a small f after the letter f for using float. In case of long, we have to use small l, and then we can do it. Coming to third file, here we see the same things, how we are adding elements, how we are iterating elements. We see the iterator, we see the has next function, and after when it returns either true or false. If true, then it comes here, and then it prints the element, again moves to the next element. We also checked at the list iterator function. While declaring the list iterator function, we always have to provide the object type, I mean the class name for whom we are making the iterator, and then in the list iterator we have to provide the subject, cause we are reversing here, so it will start from the back, the size one. So this is list.size, from where it will start its journey. So the list.size will come here, and then if list.has previous, if there is boolean true, if there is element in previous, then it will come and it will print the element using previous. Here we are assigning it from here, this is assigned in I, and this is being printed. We are using lambda function list.forEach. For this a value, it will automatically, it will use the for loop, and it will automatically run until all the lists are exhausted from the list, and it will print. It is a shortcut lambda function. And using the get function, we can retrieve any element at any index. At 0th index, we can use 0. At 2, 1, 1, we can use 2. At second index, etc. Now we came to the ArrayList 4, where we are declaring our own data types. Where suppose we have to use, this is class student. Look, here this is class student, and here this is public class. You might be thinking, what if you make this public? What if you make this public? And let's compile. And now see, this is error. Class student is public should be declared in a file name student.java. That means we cannot make it as public. And if we want to make this file a public, then we again have to make a file student.java. And then from the ArrayList 4, we have to copy the entire section. Class S, and this is class V, public class student. Now if we run the file java compile -t, it will run. Now look, it again runs as the same. That means in our file we can only use one Java class as public, and if we make the file name as public, then we have to make the same file name. This ArrayList file name and the class file name will be same. And this is the student, this is student. As the student class is public, the file name is also same, otherwise it would give us a compile time error. So this is, we saw the importance of public. We saw that only public and here. So this is all about by what using the classes getter, setter, getAll, setAll. We can update the elements, we can delete the elements, we can add the entire list, we can iterate the elements. So this is enough for our ArrayList, and there is no more methods. If there, you can study from the official documentation of Java. And for this, I'm finishing this class today. Thanks all. In the next session, we'll be deep diving into the linked list class, then has map, etc., has tree set, etc. First, I'll be completing the entire collection classes, and then we'll move to all the LeetCode tough questions, because the motto is so that we can prepare for placements, etc. So thanks for that classes.